You feel it when you wake up. That quiet ache in your chest, not pain, but the absence of something. A question that never fully speaks but always lingers. Is this all I am? You walk through life like a ghost in your own body. You smile, you speak, you move, but none of it feels like you. And deep inside, behind the noise and distractions, you know something has been lost. Or maybe, it was never found at all. This isn't depression. This is disconnection from your power, from your purpose, from the fire you were born with. You are not weak. You are simply misaligned. And that is why you feel so lost. Because modern life teaches us how to function, but not how to live. It teaches us how to obey, but not how to believe. It teaches us how to earn, but not how to become. And in the shadows of forgotten dreams, in the corners of lives built on survival instead of soul, we drift. But drifting was never your destiny. You were not born to just react. You were born to respond with fire, with presence, with clarity, with divine intention. Clarity is not a gift. It is a choice. You do not find clarity by waiting for the storm to pass. You earn it by walking into the storm and commanding your own mind. We get lost because we never ask the hard questions. What do I actually believe? Who am I outside the expectations of others? What do I desire? Not just what do I tolerate? Most people never stop long enough to ask these questions. And if they do, the answers scare them back into distraction. But if you are still listening, you are not most people. You are waking up. Let the world sleep, scroll, binge, and chase approval. You must return to yourself, because no external system will ever teach you how to come home to your soul. You were born with divine precision. Every fingerprint, every breath, every heartbeat is a signature of something greater, not just biology, but intention. And yet, what do we do with that sacred force? We drown it in noise. We suffocate it under the pressure to conform. We bury it beneath 100 to-do lists that mean nothing to the spirit. Do you think Carnegie built his empire by copying the noise of the crowd? Do you think Lincoln led a nation by seeking comfort? Do you think Da Vinci waited for permission to be extraordinary? No, each of them made a sacred decision to follow their inner compass, even when it led them through fire, because being lost is not a condition. It is a consequence. A consequence of ignoring the inner call long enough to forget it exists. But here's the truth. The call never leaves you. It waits, quietly, until you are ready to hear it again. And maybe today is the day you do. Belief is not a luxury. It's a survival tool for the soul. If you do not believe in something deeper than your doubt, you will live as a prisoner of your own hesitation. Most people are not broken. They are simply starved of belief. Belief in their worth, belief in their direction, belief that they matter. But belief is not passive. It is forged. Edison didn't believe in the light because he saw it. He saw it because he believed in it. He failed over 1,000 times and kept moving because belief carried him further than logic ever could. And yet here you are, 1 or 2 rejections deep, already doubting your entire reason for being. No, that ends here. You are not here to exist in neutral. You are here to move with force, with faith, with boldness. And if the world tries to extinguish your flame, then you light a fire so bright they can't look away. Discipline is love in action. You think discipline is harsh. No, chaos is harsh. Mediocrity is brutal. Regret is violent. But discipline is sacred. It's waking up early not because you have to, but because your future is too important to sleep through. It's training your mind to focus not because distraction is evil, but because your purpose deserves your full attention. It is building routines around what matters, because the undisciplined man is forever a slave to emotion, temptation, and circumstance. The disciplined man, he bends time, he commands energy. He becomes the master of his world, and you have that in you. It's not about motivation. It's about becoming the kind of person who moves anyway. In the cold, in the dark, in the silence. You move because you are becoming. Vision is the seed of all greatness. You want to rise. Then look beyond the mess around you. See what no one else sees. See it so clearly that it becomes inevitable. Walt Disney stood in an empty field and saw castles. Jobs stared at a blank screen and saw a revolution. They weren't delusional. They were visionaries. The lost stay lost because they don't lift their eyes. They look down, consumed by what is, never daring to dream of what could be. But your life does not change until your vision does. The world will bend to your will only when you dare to will it. And no, you don't need all the answers yet. But you do need the courage to start, walking toward something bigger than survival. You are not empty. You are unawakened. And this world is starving for awakened people. People who walk into a room and change the vibration. People who speak not to impress, but to ignite. People who don't just chase money or fame, but chase alignment with who they were born to be. The truth is, you're not here by accident. You are here because your soul is ready to stop wandering and start becoming. And no matter how lost you feel, no matter how far you've drifted, you are not beyond the reach of your own power. So stand, right now, not physically, spiritually. Stand inside yourself and decide. And when you decide, truly decide, the universe begins to move with you. Not because the stars align, but because you align. It begins with one step. One moment of courage that cracks open the dam inside you, and then it flows. Not ease, but power. Not comfort, but conviction. The lost wait for clarity to arrive, but the awakened, they create clarity through action. They stop asking, "Who will save me?" And they start declaring, "I was born to save myself." Let the world wait for permission. Let them search for signs and gurus and shortcuts. You rise by remembering. You are not some broken puzzle to be solved. You are a force waiting to be released. Purpose is not something you find. It's something you remember. Before the noise, before the labels, before the opinions of others rewrote your identity, you knew. Maybe not in words, maybe not in goals, but in energy, in instinct, in pull. The child you once were held more truth in their laughter than some adults hold in a lifetime of speeches. But then they told you to sit still, to be quiet, to fall in line. And over time, your soul began to whisper more softly, not because it disappeared, but because it was waiting for you to listen again. And this is that moment. Purpose does not come with a roadmap. It comes with a memory. A remembering of what you were always meant to be. A remembering of the fire that once lit your eyes. You don't have to chase it. You have to uncover it. Strip away the lies, the masks, the fears, and beneath it all, you will find the voice that was always yours. Gratitude is not a cliché. It's a weapon. While the lost complain, the rising give thanks, not because life is easy, but because gratitude rewires the mind for power. You can't be both resentful and unstoppable. You can't be both bitter and brave. Gratitude clears the fog. It reminds you, you are still breathing, you are still here, you are still able to rise. Think of Mandela, locked in a prison cell for decades, yet still emerging with dignity, clarity, vision. Why? Because he refused to give his inner world to the outer chaos. Gratitude is not passive acceptance. It is an act of rebellion against despair. It says, I will not wait for everything to be perfect. I will see the miracle in this breath, and build from here. Adaptability is the weapon of the unstoppable. You will be tested. You will lose. Plans will fail. People will change. But if you are rigid, you will break. If you are adaptable, you will bend, and still rise. You think nature favors the strongest. No, nature favors the most flexible. The river carves mountains, not by force, but by persistence and flow. You are not here to stay the same. You are here to evolve, to adapt, not just to the world, but to the higher version of yourself you haven't even met yet. So let go. Let go of needing to control every outcome. Let go of the identity that keeps you safe but small. Let go of who you were, to become who you must be. Resilience is the art of returning. Everyone falls. Everyone bleeds. Everyone breaks. The difference between the lost and the rising is not in how they fall, but in how they come back. Thomas Edison once said, "I have not failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work." That's not arrogance. That's resilience. That's a soul so rooted in purpose that failure becomes a teacher, not a jailer. And what about you? How many times have you let failure define you? How many times have you stopped because something didn't go your way? You do not build a great life without scar tissue. You do not rise by pretending it's easy. Asterisk, you rise by returning. Again and again. Bleeding, bruised, but unbroken. Because deep down you know, there is more in you. Learning is the currency of elevation. The lost believe they know enough. The rising remain students always. Every day, every person, every failure, every win, it all becomes fuel. You are not just here to succeed. You are here to understand, to evolve through knowledge, to master yourself through awareness. Do you want to be great? Then study greatness. Study the discipline of warriors, the faith of dreamers, the pain of builders. Study your patterns. Study your habits. Study the parts of you that sabotage your future and say, no more. Because when you learn, you grow. And when you grow, you outgrow the version of yourself that felt lost to begin with. And now, we arrive at the truth. You are not lost because you lack a path. You are lost because you stopped walking toward yourself. You are not stuck because life is cruel. You are stuck because you abandoned your inner compass and trusted the noise of the world instead of the voice of your soul. But the compass is still there. It always has been. And if you're quiet, if you're honest, you'll feel it again. Not as a loud command, but as a whisper. Remember who you are, and the moment you remember, you rise. Not all at once, not with fireworks, but like the sun, slowly, unshakably, with purpose. You do not need more motivation. You need more truth. And the truth is, your life is waiting for you to return to it. So rise, not because it's easy, but because it's time. So rise, not tomorrow, not when you feel ready, not when the stars align or someone hands you a map. Now, because this is the moment you were created for. Not the moment of comfort, but the moment of becoming. You do not need more time. You need more courage. The courage to let go of what no longer serves you. The courage to look your fears in the eye and walk forward anyway. Stop bargaining with your greatness. Stop asking for permission to live a life that's already yours. Stop shrinking so others don't feel insecure. Shrink no more. You were born to take up space, to walk with purpose, to speak with thunder and move with vision. World doesn't need more followers. It needs more people who've remembered themselves. So stand tall. Not because life is fair, but because you are fierce. Stand tall like the mountains, who never beg for attention, but are still seen by all. Stand tall like the ocean that never chases the tide, but always returns. You do not rise by becoming someone else. You rise by returning to who you were before the world told you to be small. Let them call you intense. Let them say you've changed. Let them whisper about your fire. They don't understand, and they're not meant to. They didn't see the nights you wrestled your demons. They didn't hear the silence you screamed into. They didn't feel the weight of your potential pressing against your skin like a prison. But you did, and you still do. That pressure, that's not anxiety. That's your future trying to be born. That's your purpose, pounding on the door of your comfort, demanding to be let out. So let it out. Let it burn the old stories. Let it break the chains. Let it destroy the shallow life you settled for. Because you are not just here to exist. You are here to impact, To live with so much clarity that others begin to question their fog. To walk with such authority that doubt avoids your presence. To love so deeply that the world feels safer just by knowing you're in it. And when the day ends, when you lie in bed and close your eyes, may you never again feel lost, because you finally chose to rise. To rise above the noise, above the fear, above the false identities and hollow expectations. You chose to return, not to the version of you they molded, but to the version of you that was born whole, born worthy, born powerful, beyond measure. You don't need saving. You need remembering. And this is your moment. This is where the wandering ends. This is where the rising begins. So walk with fire in your chest and silence in your mind. Let every step be a sermon. Let every breath be a declaration. Let every action say what your soul has known all along. You were never truly lost. You were simply waiting for the courage to rise.